Hello everyone and welcome to the Bearded Geeks, the weekly grab bag of topics covering movies, comics, video games and TV. My name is Jages, I am the Beard Master. With me today, my drift co-pilot, Russell, Redmond.
How about you give me a neural handshake?
How about you give me a neural hand job?
Alright.
2 hands! That's filth.
Sorry.
We just saw Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah, it was great.
I was friendless today and I was like, Russell, do you want to come to the movies with me?
Well, I do love attention, so I turned up.
Yeah, so we saw Pacific Rim Uprising and we'll talk a little bit about that today. We will. Man, I'm not going so well, but I will not edit this. I'm just going to leave it. Because I'm raw. Bearded Geeks raw.
Yes.
Now, Russell, you've been on 2 weeks in a row.
This is crazy, man. Like, we're on a real roll here with me.
This is your 4th episode.
Yeah.
So, top 5 TV shows, Halloween episode, our retro gaming last week, and now this week, we're all alone.
Man, it feels very intimate here, just in the Beard Cave, like, with just us.
Yeah, because normally when you're here, we've got like a big brood of us going, and we're all like, dick jokes!
Yeah.
We already got one dick joke in at the top of the episode, so.
Yeah, hey, it's good. Glad we pulled it out.
Now, do you obviously listen to last week's episode you were on?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for cutting out all that other stuff that was nasty. Appreciate that.
All that anti-Semitism you were going on about.
I was having a bad day.
No, it came together really well. I thought
it was good.
No, it was a good episode to listen back to.
It was good to have Jake on there too. He was loving it.
Jake will be back.
I hope so.
We fucking want to.
Hopefully he'll be back for the Arnie one so he can be able to be back.
Thinking about doing an Arnie episode in the future. Just everything Schwarzenegger. Now, what'd you think? Because what's it like for you? Because it's actually quite different, like from my perspective, and I imagine
in a
you
way
being
for
like
you, it's a bit like being a parent in that you've got to deal with the child when no one else is around. So you've got to like get it, look after it, make sure it's all good and plays up and all these different things. And where I listen to it, I just listen to the final product. It's a bit like when my daughter's hanging out with like other parents. It's like, oh, she's so sweet, and I'm like, no, you haven't seen a head spin, mate. She's frightening.
Yeah, because I was saying, we spoke about this just a little bit before, like, for me, because I'm sitting here with headphones and that now, and I'm, like, monitoring audio and make sure everything's recording properly and everything, and later on I go through the editing process and I can work on an episode for up to, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on what's going on and how anal I want to be about it.
Oh, super anal.
So I don't get to, like, come in and just record and then it's up and it's done and I get to like just experience it. That's my cross to bear.
We need to find another podcast so you can just like rock up and be like one.
That'd
of
be great.
Like,
do you know any other local podcasts that I could be a guest on?
No good ones.
No, well, this is the only good podcast in town. Out of the probable like 3 max. But what I was saying is, because for me as the the Beard Master and whatever, and I do all the editing and stuff, like I don't get that. I just rock up, have a chat, and then leave, and then listen to it a week later. So is that similar for you, like in the comedy route? Because I asked Doug the same question the other week, like if he watches a comedy film, can he just sit there and just enjoy it for what for what it is, or is he always switched on? It's always like a learning thing, like watching other, you watch a Chevy Chase movie, you're watching, how he delivers lines and jokes and everything. It's a bit different watching a film, scripted and stuff, but the same kind of thing.
With comedians, when we're watching them, like really, before you start doing comedy, it's just a case of, oh, this is funny. And then, like, now you go in there and go, oh, that's a really good delivery. That's a really good joke. Oh, man, I wish I thought up that. And, like, you're just stuck in that mindset. So I just sort of try to shut my brain off when I'm doing that sort of stuff. But I guess it'd be hard for you to shut your brain off here because you'll be like, oh, hang on a sec, I'm steering this damn thing.
Yeah, I'm the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
And if it goes down, I go down with it.
There is a lot of rats falling. No, she's a good little podcast. I love it.
Thank you.
I love coming in here.
Thank you.
I just like to have attention.
You said this last week. You're a massive attention hound.
I am a massive attention hound. I just like oh, I get to hang out with Jags. Oh, he just wants to record us? All right, fair enough. That's fine. But it's chill.
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's an easy gig just to rock up and just talk bullshit and then leave.
That's the great part. Like, I tell my wife that I've got to go do a podcast. I've got to, but really, I don't have to. But I want to get out of the house and go and have some fun with the boys. And
she can
home.
sit around and watch The Bachelor and stuff.
Quite frankly, she's happy to have me out of the house. She's just like, go. I don't want to go.
Take your time. Whatever.
Whatever. Go get some milk on the way home. Yeah. On the other side of town. Yeah.
Feel free to eat while you're out. Now, speaking of eating, I think we just went to the cinema and we saw Pacific Rim.
Yes.
Now, we went down together, like friends do, and we got to the cinema and Russell was like, you know what, I'm feeling a bit peckish. I haven't eaten. Peckish is hungry in Australia, if you don't know what that means. In Australian lingo, peckish means that you're hungry.
Bloody going to get a bit of a tucker. A bit of bonza tucker, right?
So, KFC is, like, right near the cinema. So he's like, I'm just going to go over to Kfir and I'm just going to grab something to eat. And I'm like, righto, I'll go get a ticket. So I went in, I got my ticket, and I went to KFC and I met him and stuff. And then Russell went up and he went to get his ticket. And he comes over and everyone's starting to go into the movie. And what did the lady tell you at the counter, Russell?
She said, you're not smuggling that in, are you? I said, no, definitely not. And then I got over there and I started to eat my chips and I realised we're going to miss this movie. So I looked over and I saw a old lady there with an empty popcorn box. So I said, excuse me, madam, can I please have that? And she looked at me like I was like going to hit her or something. She's like, what? I said, I just need the box. She goes, oh, okay, that's fine. So she gave me the box and I put all the food in it. And then we quietly snuck into the cinemas with all the food.
Because you had a box of popcorn.
Yep. Chicken.
Now I actually said to you, I was like, if only we, like, just put it in a popcorn box and I just saw the bulb just go off above your head.
I got so excited. I'm not going to lie. I got half-mast. I was like, yes, that's a great idea.
But the thing is, before we saw the lady with the empty box, we went around the corner and we checked the bin to see if there were any popcorn boxes. We'd just, like, tip out the popcorn.
I tell you what, there's nothing more sus than seeing, like, two
grown
men in their 30s just looking in bins.
In like a full multiplex, all the kids have just come out because they just watch Peter Rabbit with their parents and shit.
Yeah, we're skulking around. Go, oh, I reckon is Eddie there? Oh no, you make sure no one's watching. All right, okay, stick it in there. Then we put it in the box, and then we like skulked in. I tell you what, I felt really cool getting in there.
I thought we were going to get caught. I was when I walked over and we handed the lady our tickets, I was like,
I saw you were ready to do the he's not with me sort of routine. I
just made sure I started talking. I was like,
that was actually quite good. I didn't realise. I was just like, oh, yeah, okay, Jake. So what about this KFC? Shut up about
And then he's sitting next to me in the cinema just eating like this greasy chicken and that. He offered me some. He's like, you want some popcorn? Chicken.
I'm pretty sure the people behind us were quite late. They were just like, is this fool in here eating KFC?
I was just sitting there. I was like, fuck, that smells good.
Oh, but no, it was great. And then at the start of the movie, what was it called? Curtains were starting to open up.
Because when they show the previews and that, they only show it on the sort of smaller screen and that. And then when they go to start the actual film, they open up the curtains and that, like on the pulleys and shit.
And this is how Paul Launceston is that as it was opening up, all you could hear was squeak, squeak, squeak.
It's like...
We didn't know what was happening behind there. It was like a whole bunch of rats being forced to like open it up.
And we were just giggling to ourselves.
We thought it was funny.
Us was like, who's these
They just like, they brought in KFC and now they're laughing at squeaking noises. Where's the usher?
That was fun. I think that's the first time we've ever been to the cinema together,
I think it's the first time we've been to the cinema too. I like when I go into the cinema with you because I'm just like, I hope, because I've never been to the cinema with you and it's really hard with some people because like some people are talkers in movies and I'm not a big fan of talkers. I'm like, okay, you got free range at the start when it comes to all the ads and that's cool. But the moment that thing squeaks open,
shut the fuck up.
Shut up. And I think I only spoke twice to you in the whole interim and it's just like,
we laughed because very Australian, famous Australian TV presenter Peter Overton.
I was on the movie, and then you just jabbed me in the side like fucking Peter Overton.
Because they're in Sydney, they're in Sydney.
Holy smokes!
And they had those massive cannons on like the fucking Sydney Harbour Bridge.
It looked so out of place. And honestly, it looked like when you get like your toys and you sort of mix them up. So you put your G.I. Joes with your like Lego and that, and you're just like, oh, what's that doing there? That looks silly. Imagine going to Sydney and being like, oh, can we get some photos next to the cannons? Hey, don't worry, sweet, I'll take a photo for you.
Anyway, you got to head home soon, so we might just jump straight into this movie.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think we'll do spoilers today. So we'll do non-spoilers, and then right at the end we'll do a little spoiler section. There's not really that much to spoil. I don't think.
Not really. There's some good bits, but yeah.
But also, we'll timestamp it in the info on that, so you don't miss it.
I like how you do that.
Or you do miss it.
Some other podcasts don't do that. That really irks me when they're like, yeah, we're going to do some spoilers. And it's just like, we'll let you decide when we're going to do spoilers. So you just got to guess sort of like where it's going to happen. And
sometimes in our regard, we get a bit excited. And I know Pat, especially, he's just like, let's talk about spoilers. And I'm like, settle down, boys, settle down. Sometimes it bleeds. It bleeds over into our non-spoiler section.
He's knocking his fruit box over. He's just like getting too excited. He's like, oh, spoilers!
But no, yeah, it's just, I just find it handy, like in the info below. Like if I wanted to be really good and really anal about it, I would like time everything. Hey, here's the news at this time, but I'm not that fucking into it.
So not that anal.
Just the spoiler section will be fine.
Yeah.
So, Pacific Rim Uprising we saw. Now, let's go back to the first film, because I've seen the first film.
I haven't.
I went to the movies and saw it.
I didn't.
And you haven't seen it. I didn't find this out until after we saw the movie.
I didn't want to spoil it. Because I know you'd be like, fuck, oh, what are you doing? We're going to go home and watch it and then come here. Oh, we haven't got... Oh, great, you ruined it. So I waited till the end and then just made a spoiler for you, which was, I haven't seen. You're like... We're standing in the multi-story.
It was like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It was like the twist at the end. And everything was fine. And it was like, I never saw the first one.
I didn't see dead people.
Is that Bruce Willis?
No, it's just a bald guy off his head.
Now, I've seen the first film.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the cinema and saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of seeing a lady at the time. We weren't coupley, but we were kind of we sort of went out once or twice, and I met her, and I was like, hey, I'm going to this movie. Do you want to come to this movie with me? And she was like, yeah, okay, I'm not really into that kind of thing. So then I showered her and stuff. Never saw her again after that day. Oh, you actually probably know her, because this is really interesting. I won't bring this up now, but I'll bring it up later when we finish recording.
Please do tell me.
But, yeah, so I saw the movie. I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro. You know this. Pan's Labyrinth, Mimic, The Shape of Water. He just won a couple of Academy Awards and that for it.
Our boy's killing it.
Pacific Rim.
Mm.
Now, the first one, the thing about Guillermo is that his films are very in-depth. They're very detail-oriented, because he's a creator through and through.
Yeah.
He has like a notebook and that with him constantly. He's writing ideas. He's drawing concepts. He like creates half these things like on his own, like this is the concept I've done of this robot. I take it and put some bells and whistles and that on it, and then he just, refines it or whatever back and forth.
So sort of like one of those eccentric geniuses that.
That's it. But he's really big on like world building.
Yeah, I like that. I really do, because when you watch some movies, that it's just like they've whipped out the cookie cutter and just went nuts with it. Whereas like you watch other movies, it's just like, no, there's got to be a real world behind this. Like obviously, The Lord of the Rings came from the books, but I mean, they built the whole world before they made the story. And yeah, I much prefer that sort of deal.
Mm. Now, Guillermo obviously didn't come back to direct this one. We had Stephen S. DeKnight, who was the showrunner. He was the showrunner for the first season of Daredevil on Netflix. This is his first film he's ever directed.
Oh, right.
Okay. So, now, I was a bit disappointed when Guillermo wasn't coming back to direct this one, but he went on to do The Shape of Water. So, everything worked out well for him, which is great. But I really loved the first film. I loved how there was really a world. There was everything built behind these robots. There was a reason they existed. There's a reason for where these monsters and that come from, these kaiju and stuff. We don't get any real indication of what they're actually after, aside from they just rock up and smash shit and we gotta take them on.
Yeah.
But, real detail-oriented, just like in the world. And the fight scenes, like, I watched this behind the scenes, on the Blu-ray and stuff.
DVD extras, yeah.
Yeah, DVD extras and stuff. And there's this scene where one of the kaiju, it's kind of like this big gorilla-looking thing, it comes out of the water and it, like, takes a step, like, onto this dock, and then it, like, moves over. And you're watching Guillermo, like, watch this, like, the CG in that they've done, like, the mock-up and shit. And he's watching it, and he's like, no. He's like, that should be a lot heavier, like, when he steps, because he's stepping up, but, like, he's a big, like massive, like pretty much
hulking
a gorilla.
beast. Yeah.
And like when he puts his weight down, you're really going to see that. So that was one thing that he really sort of focused on in that, you know, like the weight and the size of like these monsters and these robots. Like when they moved and stuff, they were like real slow and there was real weight to it.
Yeah. And they build up momentum and then
that's exactly right. And the real sort of sciencey aspects of it, you know, the closer something is to you, the slower it'll move. Like the slower it'll appear to move. Yeah. And, you know, the further away, the opposite.
Yeah, real.
So that was one thing that I really loved about that movie. And that stuff that he does was really laced with his visual style and his sort of presence. All the kaiju stuff, like when they're dissecting the organs and that, it was very, you know, it was very GDT. He loves all his monstery stuff and his gory stuff and his practical effects and that. So I was a bit nervous and apprehensive.
Carried over? Do you feel it's carried over into this one?
Yes and no.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a second. We might leave that for the visual effects and that. But let's just jump into it. So what was kind of your first impressions, like, of the film? Like, were you aware of this franchise before?
I was aware. I've watched a few, like, feature things on YouTube. I think, like, one meme or something they did. Like, they took some certain things from it and made a meme out of it. But that was about it. So when I came into it, I was sort of coming in with fresh eyes, but it felt like everything was well established and it went boom straight into it real quick, which was good for me because I've got a very short attention span. So they were keeping it very flashy and everything was happening. So I was like, oh, this seems cool. Oh, these robots are big. They're pretty cool. And like all the different characters were quite interesting. So I was just like, oh, all right. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
But, outside that, it was like, because I had nothing else to base it from before, I was just like, I'll just have to go with it. Just go with it. And I was quite happy to come in without knowing anything about it, to just watch it. Like, I didn't feel like I was left out of the loop too much. Probably a little bit later on, I was a bit left out of the loop, but I was just like, because I did turn you and say, what's this going on about? And you just looked at me like, yeah, just watch.
Yeah, this one scene come on and you turned to me and was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, shh.
Yeah. You pretty much gave me the, we're watching a movie, champ, look.
I enjoyed the film. I didn't hate it.
Yep.
That's something that when people say that, you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
What's he gonna bloody say or whatever? On the whole, I enjoyed it. I quite liked it. I liked how in the first film, a lot of the fight scenes in that took place at night.
Yep.
There's this one fight scene in like Hong Kong and stuff, and there's this shot of Gypsy Danger, he's called in the first film. He's walking sort of down the street, and it's got like that Hong Kong cityscape, so there's all like neon lights and shit. Yeah. And it's raining in that too, so everything's wet. So you get this beautiful like CGI like light bouncing off these Jages and stuff, and pink fluorescent neon.
Would have felt
stuff.
super sci-fi.
Yeah, it looks like, and it's really fucking sexy.
Yeah.
But they've kind of gone the opposite in this.
The CGI in this, you could like taste the CGI. Like it was very like you could tell they were doing their best, but from the CGI, you're just like, oh yeah, this feels like this in my waters. I can feel this CGI. So like, yeah, I mean, even you know, Stevie Wonder would say, oh, this CGI is terrible. That's how bad it was. No, it was all right. It had a lot of.
I think the problem here and there. I think the problem is that because, like I was saying, in the first film they do a nighttime, like all the fights are pretty much like nighttime scenes. But in this one, they've kind of gone the anime route and they've gone the opposite. So everything sort of happens in the day.
Yeah,
like in the daytime.
I think because it was of a day, you can notice a lot more, like their outside edging and that, and their movements and things like that. Like if it wasn't purely polished, like you'd tell, and it didn't feel like completely polished. It felt like, yeah, it's done. Like I don't think Guillermo would look at that. He'd just like go, yeah, cool. He'd just like throw something, like tip something over and just go, no.
Again,
do it again.
Okay, seeing as we're talking about CG, we'll just jump straight into the CG now. What I felt was that there were a lot of like distant shots of the Jaegers. We didn't really get, because in the first film we get like a lot of beautiful like close-ups, like you can see like the fucking rivets and everything, like, in these Jaegers and that. You get these beautiful, like, real close shots, and everything's really noticeable.
Now think about it, that you don't really see, like, close-ups of this, like, these machines.
You see closer shots, like, profile shots. So you might see, like, chest, shoulders, and head.
Yeah.
But you never really get, like, a full-on, like, close to the, like, head or an arm or any piece of the Jaeger shot. I think it's really, and like I was saying, the daytime thing, I think it's kind of a detriment, because if there was a scene where it was raining or whatever, we'd probably more reflective surfaces and stuff because everything's wet.
Oh, it would be cool if it was like hail, and then you could hear the ding 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 as it bounced off.
Actually,
that would be pretty sweet.
We did have a fight in the snow though. There was a fight scene in Siberia. That was
fun to watch. That was really enjoyable. But outside that, it was just like, this looks cool, but you're right, you couldn't see any real close-ups of, the Jaegers.
Yeah, there wasn't really, like, it was kind of just felt like, it's just a fight scene. There's no real, like, we need a fight scene. It's been 15 minutes, we haven't had a fight scene, let's have a fight scene.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, it did feel a little bit sewn in some places. The
fight scenes felt a bit empty. Like, compared to the first film.
Right.
Like, I keep comparing it back to Guillermo's film, but it's hard not to, because,
that was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the preceding thing. Yeah. There's a scene in, just talking about his detail and stuff, there's a scene in the first film where they're fighting on the docks, and Gypsy Danger picks up, like, shipping containers, like 60-foot shipping containers, like, in his hands, and is, like, holding them and crushes it and stuff. And there's a scene where, like, he punches the kaiju, and you see the shipping containers, like, explode, and you see everything that's in it. Like, there's a couch flying, there's a Vespa scooter and stuff. And there's a scene where Guillermo talks about that, like,
it's a bit like when you trip over and you're carrying, like, Doritos bags and the chips just burst everywhere as you fall on top of them.
And you see it in slow motion, there's like, no, there's chips go everywhere. But yeah, he was all about detail in that there. He's like, I just don't want to see wreckage. He's like, I want to see specific things. Like, this container was for shipping furniture. I want to see some furniture. This one was just all about scooters. This one was full of scooters. So you see, like, a scooter flip, like a really, like, profound shot of it. Like, just there. Oh, it's a Vespa scooter and stuff.
Knowing him, there'd probably be, like, paperwork that comes flying out, and it just, like, comes past the camera. You just see, like, tiny little bits saying this will be shipped to Brazil.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just stop on the CG in that, because we talked about that a little bit, but we'll sort of get into that a bit more in the spoiler section and stuff. But let's just breeze over the story in that a bit.
Okay. Yep.
So the movie picks up 10 years after the first film. So in the first one, they've ended the war, they've sealed the breach, and in this film where we pick up, we're rebuilding the world and stuff, and everything's going pretty well.
That was really good, actually, at the start, like, with saying how there was all these, like, richer areas, but then the coastal areas weren't even being repaired, and people were just living as squatters in amongst the wreckage. And I was like, wow, that's a really good, like, touch that is very true to human nature, in that you have the incredibly wealthy in that could live in other areas, but then you got the people who have no choice, so they have to live in squalor, and they get by.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a really good piece of world building there.
I really did like that aspect too. Because, that's where the breach was, like in the, the Pacific and stuff, and that's where all the kaijus, they always hit the coasts.
That's where it was specifically.
Yeah. Tish.
Hey, I'm in here, I'm here.
So, we've got John Boyega, who plays Jake Pentecost, who is the son of Stacker Pentecost, Idris Elba, who was in the first film. What else have we got? We got the young girl. What was her name? It was
Amara.
Namari or something like that.
Something like that. Just like
Namani.
It just looks like someone threw some Scrabble on the ground with a few letters left.
Amara Namani.
Amara Namani. That's a lot of A's. Someone was trying to get rid of their A's in Scrabble.
Anyway, Jake was like a former ranger, and he just couldn't live up to his dad. He's in his dad's shadow and stuff with the name and stuff, so he left the program, and now he kind of just squats and just gets by and parties and whatever. But, one thing leads to another, and he ends up back as a ranger, sort of back in the Corps and stuff. And we have all Jaegers and that being built, but we haven't had kaiju for 10 years. But now there's a company coming in who are trying to push through drone Jaegers. So
that'll put these pilots out of work.
Yeah,
really.
so we don't actually have pilots in Jaegers anymore.
Yep.
We have remote controlled drones.
Yep, that's a good overview.
Which is pretty much like the plot for Iron Man 2 when you think about it.
Oh, hang on a sec. I think you're right.
When you've got Justin Hammer.
Yep.
And he's trying to build like all the sort of
and
drone
the cockatoo. There was the cockatoo. I like the cockatoo. I want
Mickey
the bird.
Rourke, yeah.
Give me bird.
I want my bird.
My bird, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty much nearly the same plot for Iron Man 2.
So what do you reckon the third one's going to be if we're working off Iron Man 3? Like
more robots. More monsters.
Yep.
More explosions.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, make it.
Anyway, and then what else happens in the story? And then,
we're
drones, and then
going to be
shit gets real.
Bit too spoiler if we go too further.
Shit gets real after that.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about the characters? Like I always felt like in Star Wars, John Boyega was a bit bland.
I think this one,
Finn.
I think this John Boyega's got a little bit more depth, and I think he is enjoying the role that he's doing.
Because he's using his natural British accent.
Yeah.
He's got a cool haircut with this cool line, shaved through it and that. He's this cool young guy.
He looks like a DJ. He just looks like a DJ.
He's very far removed sort of from Finn in Star Wars.
Yeah. He's sort of playing this sort of roguish sort of character. He's just like pissing around, just like talking like this, a British person, doing his thing.
Did you feel like there was maybe a little bit too much focus on him?
I did actually. I felt that if they put a bit more time and effort into other characters, you'd feel a bit more emotionally invested. I think that he carries such a good on-screen persona there. Even a little bit would have been enough. Whereas like other ones who were a bit weaker, like there was other ones who was thrown in there, and you're just like, oh yeah, you're like, oh, that one's gonna die. That one's not important. That one is important, but I haven't put enough effort into it. But yeah, it really felt like it was the John Boyega show featuring everyone else.
Yep. We had Scott Eastwood in there as well. He pretty much played, he was another ranger. He was kind of like the head ranger, and he was in charge of like training all the cadets and stuff. And, Scott Eastwood is Scott Eastwood. If you've seen him in anything else like the Fast and Furious movies and that, he's kind of in the background. He gets by, but he's nothing exceptional. Like I don't want to bag the guy, but he couldn't really like carry it on his own. Every scene he was in, I felt like he was one of the weakest parts.
Do you think he was written poorly? Because I felt that he didn't have much to work with there, really.
Yeah, well, he was pretty much just that, I'm generic soldier.
Yeah, and I suppose soldier types aren't really given that too much flair when it comes to being a straight up and down human robot.
Because pretty much the focus was on John Boyega, so he's pretty much the one who got the most story in that. So, if we had like Scott Eastwood and stuff, like I've got a dead wife and stuff, backstory or whatever, but he didn't have any of that. He was just, he's a ranger. These two have a bit of history. I'm training cadets. I'm kind of a hard ass, but really I'm a good bloke.
Yeah. The real tsundere character, like in anime, like, oh, I'm hard, but I'm a very loving person, but I'm not going to show you.
Yeah. We had Charlie Day back.
Oh, yes. No, I really enjoyed Charlie Day. I didn't even know him that much from the first one, but I was just like, oh, this is great. Yeah, he's funny.
It's interesting to see him back. I felt it was a little bit more reserved than he was in the first film.
Much more controlled, from what you were telling me.
It was a bit more manic in the first film. Like, he's described...
Yeah, just doing his usual Charlie Day thing. Just crazy.
I love Charlie Day.
I do too.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, man, that show's so good.
In the first one, his character is described by Dr. Gottlieb, the other doctor with the walking stick and that. He's described as he's a kaiju groupie. So he's just like, he's obsessed with kaiju. He loves everything about them, and he's always researching them and stuff, and he's got all these kaiju tattoos and that up his arms.
Oh, so that's what they were. Oh, yeah. I thought they were just like random like tattoos, like hipster style, like trying to appeal to a hipster market.
No, well, in the first film, like he shows them off. He's like, oh, this is such and such kaiju, this is a category, whatever, and he's going, oh, that was yeah. So he really loved like these kaijus and stuff. He just found them so fascinating.
Yeah.
And his big thing in the first one, he's like, I want to see one up close one day. And he's like, no, you don't. Anyway, so he kind of gets his chance in that. So, yeah, there were other characters in there. They were kind of like the younger cadets.
I felt that the female character, the mechanic girl, she was just like, she didn't even need to be in there. Like, she was so underwritten that it was just like...
I still found her kind of interesting, though. I felt she was kind of a nice balance. It was nice to have a character who... So you have John Boyega, who's probably, in his early 30s. He's probably 30, 31, something like that.
Yeah.
And this younger girl, she's probably 21, 22, something like that.
Yeah.
It was nice having that kind of age difference. You know, you kind of had that mentor and mentee, but then... You know, as we get toward the end, you know, the line kind of blurs and they become sort of more peers, you know. So I always found that appealing. I do like having that kind of thing, that age gap. Whereas if she was just some other attractive actress who was on the same level, you know, was around about the same age and stuff, is kind of like... would end up being the assumed love interest because every movie has to have a love interest for some reason.
Yeah, it didn't really push it too hard, did it? Like, it felt like it was just there. But I don't know, maybe I just felt like, maybe I wanted a bit more out of her character. She just felt like she was just a drop-in thing here and there, and just like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, in and out. I'm just like, Whereas the younger girl, the Amara character, she was a lot more fleshed out. And yeah, she was quite good actually.
Oh, that's who I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about no, the other mechanic. What's her name?
The Joe or whatever her name is.
Yeah. The one.
No, sorry, I was talking about the Amara one.
No, the Amara one. No, I thought she was great. I probably should have stipulated a bit more, but no. She was really good. I think she's going to do quite well actually.
Yes, I thought she was quite good too. After all those things I just said.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I really should remember characters' names. I just watch movies and go,
that's fine.
There's bombs and stuff. But no, she I thought her with John Boyega was pretty good, pretty fun. As I was saying before, like it's a movie I could probably take my little girl to go to watch. I could just have her watch at home, and she'd be like, "Oh, cool, this is all right." When she gets a bit older, because she was good female character, very headstrong, very sort of like that classic Disney sort of era of like, you can do it, believe in yourself sort of thing with this young girl, and she's like, yeah, I'll believe in myself.
Herbie. Like I was saying, I liked that.
You know what? If you think about it, Herbie the Love Bug isn't that impressive the older we get, because like with self-driving cars, it's like, so this car's driving on its own. Big whoop.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like imagine they redid it now and it's just like Herbie the Love Bug. It's a self-driving car, and the person's just sitting in the back of like a Uber car that's about to crash into someone, going, so who cares? I
don't think I'd ever trust a self-driving car.
No, me neither. I can't even trust me a printer. Like every time I try to hook it up and do
colour
this,
low,
and it's just like colour low. It's like, bullshit, the colour's low. I just put it in the other day. That's ridiculous. And
do you still have a printer?
Yeah, I do, but it doesn't work properly, and I kick it occasionally, and I don't like it. It doesn't like me. We've just got a.
It generally doesn't work if you throw it up against the wall.
True, no, it doesn't. But I mean, I don't know. I just hate the damn thing. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna get a new one. They talked me into it. Thank you.
So we've deciphered that John Boyega was pretty good, but he probably got a little bit too much time.
Oh yeah, he didn't need that much. Yeah.
Scott Eastwood is just Scott Eastwood. He could have done with quite a bit more time, maybe a little bit more depth than that to his character.
Yep.
But the young girl who played Amari in that, I don't know her name, unfortunately. Yeah, I thought she was quite good. I'm going to keep an eye out for her. She looks, pretty good.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to be fun when she gets older.
She's very very capable young actress and very capable character in that in the film. And exactly. Like you said, very headstrong and stuff. Yeah,
that's it.
I enjoyed it. And like I said, the dynamic between her and John Boyega, like the age difference.
Yeah,
I like that kind of thing.
Felt like an older brother sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's, it feels very touching. And
like she's training and stuff and having a hard time, and he comes in and helps her out.
Yeah. Does the whole mentor sort of thing. He's like, that's all right. Yeah.
But then she kind of just got enough backstory in that as well, like to justify.
It would have been good to get
all the Jaeger pilot stuff.
It would have been good to get some more backstory with the other Jaeger pilots. Like, it would have been good to get some other, like the other younger kids. So it'd just be like, well, what's their story? What's their thing? And you get little flashes of it. But I think if they cut back a bit of the Boyega, train and put it a bit more on them, you would have felt more emotionally invested in these characters.
Do you feel like it could have done with an extra 15, 20 minutes?
I think it could have, yeah. I thought it was a bit shorter than what I was expecting. That's okay, though. I was happy to be out of there because I'm under time constraints.
Yeah.
But I do think a bit more character development would have been good.
I think that
maybe in a few more training programs, if they were doing more training programs with the young kids and they were then like working in together and like...
They're having trouble and then then they get a bit of one-on-one time. And
work out the compatibilities. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that would have been a bit better.
Because the first film was probably half hour longer than that one.
Gotcha, right.
And there was a bit more, we had got a bit more time to slow down and stuff, and between robot fights and stuff. And this one, this was something that I felt could have done with an extra probably 15 minutes at least. Yeah,
exactly right. And a few more character one-on-ones wouldn't have used up too much CGI time as well. Like, because you know how expensive CGI is. You know, I think just one-on-ones where like they're working with each other. I mean, sure, it would have slowed it down a bit, but it would have added a bit more character development to them. Yeah,
I feel like the time limit and stuff. I felt like that was probably a studio.
Yeah,
thing.
that did feel.
They're
like
okay, we've had all these movies that have come out, like Justice League and Batman and Wonder Woman and everything. Even though they've done well, they're all pretty long. Nobody wants to sit down, so let's just have a 110-minute movie.
I kind of like it a bit shorter, to be honest. I kind of feel if you can get in, watch a movie, get out, that's great. And being able to tell a story in a shorter amount of time, that shows the story is like more capable. If you can tell the story and like boil it down perfectly, that means you're a good storyteller. It's like with comedy in that I come up with an idea, but then I'm just like, well, that's too much. That's too much. No, I've got to like work that out. And you just boil it down so you can do a joke, you know, within, 15, 20 seconds, as opposed to like a 2-minute or 5-minute story that most other people would tell. It's just a matter of shortening it.
All right, then, let's just jump in and go full spoilers.
Well, here we go. All right, guys, tune out if you don't want to watch the big robot show.
Spoilers start now. So, let's see, where do I start? It turns out that Charlie Day is the bad guy.
Yeah, and I did not see that coming. I literally didn't see it coming. But then again, if I watched the first movie, I may have.
Well, I didn't even see it coming.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, well,
I just thought it was the woman at the head of the big evil
she seemed evil. She seemed pretty evil. She was doing a pretty good job being evil.
She was pretty hard ass.
Yeah, I think it's probably her being a hard ass and like being very reserved. It's just like we're just like, ooh, she's sneaky.
This is my life's work.
It's just like, what's your life's work? It's just like, oh, your life's work is everyone else's life's work. It's just that this other guy's a nutter and nobody expected it. But I thought the pullback and reveal was really good. I quite enjoyed it. I was just like, oh, fuck. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, where Charlie Day's character drifted with the kaiju brain in the first film, they've like got into his head, and for the last 10 years they've been sort of taking him over, and controlling him and stuff, and they've built like all these backdoor programs into these drone Jaegers and that, so they can open all these breaches all over the world and bring kaiju and that through.
That was mental, like that setup where you're just like, oh, these guys are fucked. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, doing lots of saving and stuff. But when he was like came home and you were expecting him to have an actual like girlfriend, and he was just like talking as you would. He walks into the bedroom and then there's this giant fucking brain just sitting there in a bloody glass case.
In his bedroom.
In his bed. Yeah, that's a very good point actually. Like, imagine just waking up to that, just like, hey baby, morning. It's just like, looks over, there's this brain bubbling away, or frothing. He puts on the headset, just like going, oh yeah.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Did you? I felt this, but did you feel that the fight scenes were kind of empty?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. They felt like very contrived. They felt like, oh yeah, here we go, another fight scene.
We need to have at least 3 Jaeger fight scenes in this movie. Okay, here's the first one. Dum. I kind of liked the first fight, like because it was in Sydney and stuff. I kind of liked that. It was kind of just like a big rush. Like
it felt unexpected too. Like no one was expecting there to be one just pop up out of nowhere, and it was like done up as an actual like Jaeger.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, who's this bloody, like, rogue Jaeger? And that's a good element to it. It was just being like, oh, these people want to build some robots of their own so they could, like, get around and do stuff. And people are like, no, this one's too crazy good.
Yeah, because they talk at the start of the film where, like, people are going to, like, Jaeger scrapyards and stuff, and old Jaegers, and stealing parts for Jaegers and like selling them on the black market. And then you've got like all these individual like little sects trying to create their own Jaegers.
Yeah.
So then this one comes in, you're like, ooh, like someone's actually like built one, but you think it's just a big evil corporation anyway. Like,
well, I had that expectation like pretty much early on. I'm just like going, oh, well, this one seems like, it's obviously the big evil corporation, but you don't know who was doing it, to be fair. But that was pretty cool. I thought, the fight scenes were really good. The big that big crazy act at the end where all 3 of the the
kaiju where they all morph together,
sucked together, and it's just like, whoa! I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this is fucking crazy. Oh, yeah, I was loving it. I was just sitting there going, this is fucking awesome. Yeah.
I felt like everything in this movie kind of felt a little bit empty. Like it was kind of like everything was kind of like half to 3/4 full.
Yes,
like in every regard. I think that comes down to the time constraint. Because if they had like another 20 minutes for a character development to space stuff out, you could have had like a better flowing movie. Because it was just like, okay, here's the scene, setting it up. I think probably the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes was the best paced part of the movie.
I think also too, like the amount of character development they gave to certain characters, it just straight away gave you the idea, all right, well, this dude's dying. Like, because there was like the young guy at the start there, and it's just like there was a lot of time and effort put on him in reference, like in relatively to the other characters, and you're just like watching him, like going, all right, so it's either going to be the Russian girl or the Indian guy. They're going to get done over, and yeah, sure enough, it was the Indian dude, and just like going, well. If it was other people that had time and effort,
it was the one guy I didn't think would die out of all of them was the one who died.
Yeah. I had a feeling. I generally did have a feeling. I'm just like going,
because he got the most character development. They talked about his dad. He was a plastic surgeon. He just boobs. They just his dad does boobs or whatever. Yeah. Like, wow, really? Come on, guys.
Boobs, and his son wants to be a pilot to like smash aliens' heads in and stuff, you know? Like, his dad puts foreign objects into bodies. He wants to put his objects into foreign entities. Destroy these alien dudes.
You saved that in the end there, because you struggled just a little bit through that.
No, I got there in the end.
You got there in the end.
My head was above water, just.
Proud of you.
Like I was swimming in the Pacific.
And anyway. We are so proud of you.
I wish people knew that reference.
You made a big splash.
Simply by finishing every joke he entered.
Yes, I did feel like everything was kind of empty. Because they're like, okay, we need to have at least 3 fight scenes. But all the fight scenes, they just felt very... Just very cut and paste, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, I liked all the Jaeger designs. I thought they were really great, but...
Also, do you remember the part where they were going, like, all the people going into the underground shelters in Japan?
Yeah.
That really felt like a thing of being, like, in movies, they're like, oh, these people saved the city, but, like, ended up killing all these people that were in the city. I think they just threw it in there to be like, no, these people saved, because we put in this plot point. Yeah, to say these people were saved. Like, so I was just like, oh, that's clever.
You have this kaiju like going through and like tearing up,
smashing
streets
up
and stuff,
Japan,
and you like see all these people obviously get killed, and then all these people go into the bunker, and then the Jaegers turn up, and then literally like 25 seconds later, they're like, everyone's to the shelters, the city's completely empty. And you're like, we just saw them like all running up streets and stuff. They could, in the span of like 45 seconds, they could not have all of it evacuated. And all the buildings and that too.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Like, unless they've got like special underground bunker elevators that go straight down in the buildings, which I highly doubt. But then again, the Japanese are quite efficient, so they might. So
absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it's weird how like these monsters were trying to get to Mount Fuji. And like... trying to get in there, and it sort of felt like this thing of, oh, so that's why all monsters go to Japan and cause trouble. It's just like this plot point.
Because of that plot point from Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah. Just like, oh, you cheeky buggers, you've worked it out. But
let's see, what else? What else was spoilery? Well, we had a tag at the end, setting up a third film.
Yes.
I'm not sure how a third film will go. This one will probably have to make a bit more money. I think this one did have... obviously, a shorter running time so they can fit in more screenings.
Yep.
Obviously, maximise profits.
Clever.
And then also, I think the budget on this one was a bit lower compared to the first film.
Yeah.
I think it was probably $10 or $20 million less.
I agree.
Than the first film. But yeah, everything, all the fight scenes in that felt kind of empty. They're like, there was like human stuff, and then we had a Jaeger, and we're like, okay, there should be a fight scene here, let's have a fight scene.
Yeah. Yep.
The whole Siberia thing, like, I can't even remember,
that
like,
sort
why.
Of felt a little bit like, why is it? Because, like, they were saying, oh, yeah, no, this information was over here in Siberia, and they have to go to Siberia to find out what was going on. It was a disused facility, but it was never explained exactly what was going on there. Because, like, at the end of the day, the reason why everything bad was happening was because it was over in, China, with that corporation being, like, undermined by old mate Charlie. And... Yeah, so it's just like, what's going on in Siberia? Whether he was doing like special stuff going on over in Siberia.
I did think that halfway through the movie too. I was like, that plot point was never resolved. They went to Siberia and they had another fight scene and then they turned around and came back.
Honestly, it felt like a plot hole so big you could push a bloody Jaeger through it.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
Thank you. Appreciate
That's
that.
amazing. Yes, so we had a tag for the third film, setting up a third film.
Yes.
Don't worry about them coming to fight us because we're going to bloody take the fight to them.
Like,
oh, yeah. And then when I was watching that, I was like, I hope they get like another like substantial director in to direct this next film.
It would be a lot better. It would be a lot better. Someone who's got a bit of credentials in that area. You know, who would you get for the third one?
Fuck, that's a big
let's just take Guillermo del Toro out of it. Like,
yeah, we'll take GDT out of it because he's going to get like all the offers now that he's won an Oscar. He's finally got that legitimacy. Like he was always been a legitimate director to me, but now that he's won the Oscar in the eyes of the American film-going public and all his peers and that over there, he's won an Oscar. He's definitely legitimate now.
Yeah,
the guy's always been fucking legitimate.
I think the thing about him is that I'd expect him to be sitting in his office and he's getting all these calls from these big people, and he keeps like knocking. Takes the phone off the hook because he's trying to finish a Rubik's Cube. He sounds like one of those types of people just doing something odd. He's just like mind his own business, and they're trying to get hold of him. He's like, oh man, I'm trying to do this. I'm having fun here. Oh, go away.
I think I would like to see just someone off the top of my head, maybe someone like Doug Liman. He directed Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. The Groundhog Day sci-fi movie, aliens on the beach. They wear the big mech suits and stuff.
All right,
and he keeps dying and coming back. Have you seen that?
I've seen the trailers for that, but I haven't seen the actual movie, no.
Okay. I think he's probably got the cred in that because he's dealt with kind of robotic suits and aliens, and the guy's quite versed with CG. Yep. And he's directed... He's producer on Stranger Things, and he's directed a bunch of those episodes. He's probably directed 5, 6, 7 of those episodes.
Maybe they could call it the tagline Ranger Things because of the Rangers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. That was a good pull.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, maybe someone like Doug Liman, maybe.
Yep.
I'm not sure who else. Who else would I think of? I don't know. Let me chew on that for a bit.
I reckon... Okay, I've got it. Get Kevin Smith in to do it. Hey, hear me out. All right? Because who two better people to have pilot something than Jay and Silent Bob in one of those big machines?
That would be mental.
That, just like, yo, snooch to the nooch, motherfucker. We're going to kill you alien bastards. Isn't that right, fat man?
Russell's nodding. Russell's silently nodding for anyone who's not here.
Thank you. Thanks for the subtitles.
Did you feel like this movie was... Because Bob said this to me earlier on. He's like, I'm worried it looks a bit too Transformers-y. It was kind of like Pacific Rim mixed with Transformers. It was kind of the two spliced together.
Yeah, it did have that feel about it, which, to be honest, I'm okay with. Because at the end of the day, the first one basically said to people, hey, this is a big... dumb robots bashing up aliens sort of thing. So people already said, okay, well, that's what it's about. So the second one comes out and that core demographic is already established. So they want to go and watch it. So they'll go and watch it. Not only do they get like a big dumb movie like that, but it's a big dumb flashy movie like that. And then so people will be like, hey, this is great. Like I've had my ice cream and I've got a cherry on top.
Now, right, coming back to the CG. Now, previously I talked about in the first film, Guillermo really put in that these things are huge, they're big and they're heavy and the kaiju are massive and they move slower and, there was really that sense of weight and every punch had weight.
Yep.
This was, okay, we've got a younger director come in, right, it's been 10 years, we've got upgraded tech, all the Jaegers move like real fast and that. It's not like a Michael Bay Transformers movie where everything's like real close to the screen and shit's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of that.
Tiny bit.
There was a touch of that. But like, obviously all these Jaegers are super faster. They still have that weight aspect and stuff, but not as much in the first film. But they all move very fast, very fluid. Even the big bulky like Jaeger, the one with the dark green one with the big mace,
big
mace hand. Even he moved pretty quick.
He zipped around
for a big
there.
one.
Yeah. So I think that they probably put that in as a plot point to be like, hey, this is the reason why it's not like this.
Yeah, we've got upgraded tech.
We've got upgraded tech, so everything defies gravity and, physics. But, I sort of felt like certain parts that were a bit, like, tacked on. Like, I almost felt like it was just cellophane flapping in the wind in terms of, like, broken parts of the Jaeger and that. Like, they get hit a few times and they won't show that much damage.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, I'd expect a bit more damage, to be honest.
But then we don't really see those close-ups and stuff. Like,
that's true, yeah.
There's
it's
a
too
scene
far away.
where, like, the drones attack, like, the Shadow Dome and stuff, and all the Jaegers get damaged and shit, and they're like, we've got to deploy all the Jaegers, they're barely functional. Okay, do what you can to get them up and running. And then when they all land later on, we see them, like, Gypsy Avenger has got, like, a big cut mark on it, You see some visible damage, but you don't get close enough to actually see a lot of it. I'd really be interested.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a cost-benefit analysis as to why they didn't do that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they sat down and go, right, GDT did a good job, but we're not going to pay that kind of money. So we'll just, like, ramp it down a little bit and then, not spend as much money.
But yeah, I did feel that was kind of Transformers-y as well. Even some of the sound effects and stuff, they had that like the... Yeah.
Almost sounded like the sound effects on the screen was opening up early in the movie. Just like, squeak, 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 squeak.
I think that's about it from me for spoilers.
I'm pretty happy with that. I'm actually quite happy with that.
All right. End of spoilers.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back, guys.
And welcome back to the Bearded Geeks podcast. Russell Redmond.
Hey, you missed out on nothing. It was really
You missed
boring.
out on everything, Russell.
Yeah, pretty
You
much
missed out on everything.
I'm sorry.
Now, let's final thoughts.
Yeah, well, in my own perspective, I'm very basic when it comes to watching movies. I'm very happy to just watch a movie. So I felt it was pretty good. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Yep. Give it a 3 out of 5. I was happy. I left there, I was like going, yep, I spent my $19. I'm happy.
Yep. I felt like I said, like some of it, like some of the fight scenes and that felt a little bit empty and stuff. And, we could have had a bit more done with some characters, a bit less with some characters. I felt like this movie was very kind of glass half full. So, like, we don't have the time or money to put
they really felt like they were
scene.
pushing it hard.
Okay, right, that's enough for that scene. Like, that's all we can manage. Like, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, we have to have a fight scene. Yep, this looks pretty cool. Yep. It's not as flashy as anything in the first one, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. Right, move on to the next thing.
Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? I got what I expected. I got a big, dumb, silly robot movie. And I had a good time. Yeah,
exactly right.
Do I like it more than the first film? I don't think so. I do like that first film. Just like I said, the weight, the world building, everything into it. Like, there was just more, they felt like big, heavy robots walking, big hydraulics.
This felt like it leaned very heavily on the first one. So it's just like, all that character building was done. Let's just go straight into it in this one. So it was, I guess in a way, they were just like, hey, we've done all the, like making a video game. Let's make the engine first and then make the game. And then we'll make a couple of games later on from that same engine. So this felt like that.
I think this could have benefited from some differences too, like in the fight scenes. Like, I think they okay, we had one in Sydney in the daytime. It's pretty nice. We had one in Siberia in the snow. That was pretty cool. And the final fight scene is like in the daytime. Yeah. It would have been better if they had some differences and stuff.
Yeah. And
did you notice there was no real destruction in the city? Like when the kaiju was there, they all turned up. There was no real sort of, like, after the destruction and all that had happened, and you had, like, those fire shots and stuff, everything was, like, perfect.
The thing is, in the battle scenes, they were taking out, like, 20 buildings, like, absolutely demolishing blocks. And then when they cut away, it was just like, oh, yeah, they just knocked over a couple of things here and there. I personally feel like, in terms of demographic, this works really well for, like, if you've got a daughter who's, like, a bit of a tomboy, perfect movie. Just take your little girl there and watch it because, strong female character, younger female character, and, dad's just, like, big, dumb, like, movies like that. Just like, watch it.
Like, you don't have to think. It's not going to stretch your brain or anything.
Exactly.
Just sit down, switch off, watch a big, dumb, silly movie like we used to.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun. Like, I got everything I expected. I didn't expect, the English Patient or anything like that. I got exactly what I paid for.
Yep.
And I had fun enough time. 3 out of 5 from me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
It's not going to win any Oscars, but yeah, it was fun. It was robots punching monsters and stuff. It was pretty fun. I had a good time.
Exactly right.
3 out of 5 from me. 3 out of 5 from you, Russell.
That's it, mate.
3 big bushy beards out of 5. All right, dude. I think that might do it. Let's wrap it up.
I think we've done a good job, yeah.
Do you want to plug your Launceston memes?
Oh, yeah. If you like memes and you live in Launceston, or you can deal with the fact that you don't live in Launceston, but you'd like to see like meme-related stuff in somewhere you don't live, Launceston Memes on Facebook. Give it a like, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time.
And you've got a gig coming up?
Oh, yeah. April the 11th at Insider Comedy in Launceston. I'll be getting up doing a few jokes here and there. Do you want me to do one joke just for the...
Is it going to be better than all the other ones you've done?
Much better.
All right.
So I was driving up the street the other day, and I pulled up to the intersection here, and I couldn't see past. I looked to my right, and I saw this guy in a minivan, and he's there with all his kids, and he's just looking at me, and I'm just like waiting for him to go. So he gives me the wave to say, "You're good to go, mate. You can pull out." And I'll tell you what, I didn't trust him because I couldn't trust his pull-out game. I wouldn't even trust him to pull a bloody pizza out of the oven.
Because he had a car full of kids.
It's funny because it's a reference to contraception.
All right, that was good. Is you going to use that night?
I will, yes.
I hope more people than me laugh.
Yeah, me too.
If you want to find the Bearded Geeks online, you go to Facebook, facebook.com/BeardedGeeksPod. If you want to listen to the show, we're on SoundCloud and iTunes where you can download the show. And we're also on YouTube. And you can pretty much find the show through most podcasting apps like Podbean and such. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can go to TeePublic and buy a bloody t-shirt.
Sweet.
Russell, thank you for coming for 2 weeks in a row.
Thanks for having me, Jages.
You might even be here next week.
I might be.
If you're available.
I probably will be. I'll tell the wife I have to go.
Or if you don't want Russell to come back, everyone, let us know.
Please don't. I actually like getting out of the house, so don't say anything.
All right, Russell, you know how we do our sign-off, so thanks everyone for listening. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you. Subscribe, not describe.
Describe, so they're just going to like send a message here and say, yeah, so this is what it's about. And you're like, yeah, I know, I run the thing.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all next week on the Bearded Geeks. Hey!
Hey!